Hey, this is Jamie at Useful Knowledge. Well, canning season is just about in full force around here. So what I want to talk to you about is inspecting your mason jars before you start to can. So over the past couple of weeks, I've ran into 3 different issues with mason jars. And I've got a couple of examples that I'm going to show you today. So stay tuned. Okay, so I hope everyone's canning season's going well. Yesterday, I canned a large run of pickled jalapenos. Now, if you've seen our video on that, normally I do those in the small 8-ounce mason jars, but this year I'm doing them in the 1 pint mason jars, and the reason is they're just huge this year. We've had a lot of heat here in North Alabama. I don't know if that contributed to it, but the jalapenos are just huge. Also, last night I made a small run of canned tomatoes, and if you've seen our videos on those, we do that without a pressure cooker and without water bath. We use the open kettle method. That's the old-timey method, and we've got our older video out there, and we just put out an updated video with no music. Now, to get to the point, what am I talking about? I've got 2 X's on these mason jars here. So what is the issue? Well, I'm going to show you. You really need to inspect your jars. Okay, first reason to inspect your jars, look at this little nick right here. And I just happened to find it when what I'll do is I'll take my finger and I'll run it around the top of the jar. And if I feel a nick or anything a little bit weird, I'll start inspecting it. And that's what I found on this pint-sized jar when I started to can those peppers. And so that would most likely have caused a failure, because it's really hard for a lid to get a good seal when you've got a nick like that. Okay, now let's take a look at an undamaged jar. So in reference, the only thing you might see a little weird on top, there's that manufacturing line that comes up. That's not a crack, but you see how smooth this is all the way around? And there's that other side of that manufacturing line. But the rest of it is really nice and smooth. So just run your finger across that and give each one of them a good inspection. Okay, this is the bottom of my quart-sized jar. And look at that. So we've got what is starting to be a shatter here, and there's a crack line over here as well as one over here. So, and it's kind of sad, this is a very old mason jar, and I was excited to try to get another year out of it, but it's just not going to happen. Okay, in comparison, I'm showing you the bottom of a quart-sized cur jar. You see we got no cracks here. Now, there is a manufacturing process line that you'll see, and usually it goes from each side, but that's not a crack. So you can see that over there, right there. So now let's go to this ball jar, and there's that manufacturing line, but no cracks, and that's the manufacturing line as well. So you can see no cracks. So that's what you want. And going back to the older jar, this is what you don't want. Obviously there's some type of crack started there, and then that one right there really looks like it's going to shatter at any moment. What's crazy, I had this jar full of tomatoes, and when I turned it over as part of the old-timey open kettle canning process, I actually saw that. Okay, one more thing to show you here. This is a photo of a jar of strawberry jam from earlier this summer. Now, I didn't see anything noticeable on these jars, but obviously the jar must have had some type of hairline crack in it, because once the strawberry jam started cooling down, and this jar was already sealed, I picked it up to move them, and the bottom just fell straight out of it. So inspect your jars. So we hope you gained some useful knowledge on how to be on the lookout for cracks and dings in your mason jars that can cause failures, no matter your canning method. Thanks for watching.